So now let's take a look at how policy change happens. Several years ago, a friend of mine passed on a really interesting paper to me called Pathways for Change. 6 theories about how policy change happens. It had come out of the States from a think tank called Organizational Research Services, and I just love this paper. The authors had looked back over recent years at how change had happened in various societies and identified 6 general and overarching themes. Just loved it. And it's freely downloadable on the internet if you'd like to take a closer look. So the first theory about how policy change happens is called the large leap theory, where something monumental happens in society. And you might think about, for example, the release of Nelson Mandela, for example, from prison in South Africa, and the chain of events that led to the first multiracial elections in that country. Or indeed the relaxation of travel restrictions by the East Berlin Authority that led to the collapse of the Berlin Wall and then the collapse of the Soviet Union. Something monumental leading to change. Now, I'm conscious that the large leap theory might be beyond the reach of many campaigners, but the other 5 theories, I think, are all within our gift. Second theory is coalition theory. The change happens in society when organizations, individuals come together through coalitions, alliances, partnerships, but with a common purpose, And if I think about the work that I've done with colleagues in Spain around promoting the need for a new approach to tackling homelessness, a critical element of that campaign plan was the need to build coalitions, alliance, partnership, to build a greater sense of momentum and support for change. The third theory is policy windows. There's something that happens in the external world and campaigners seek to take advantage of that. And I think a great example of that is here in the UK, where the government announced that they were no longer going to lock up children for reasons of immigration, and too right too, in my opinion. But campaigners then said, if you're not going to lock up children, why are you locking up adults who've committed no crime other than questions about their immigration status? So seeing policy windows as an opportunity. The fourth theory is messaging and frameworks, how we frame, how we communicate an issue. And I sometimes think as campaigners, we just get very stuck, very tied in the way that we communicate our issue. And sometimes we need a fresh approach. And if I look back at the campaigns across Europe to ban smoking in public places, and very often a kind of defining kind of turning point was when campaigners started talking about the issue as one of a health and safety at work issue. Questioning why should bar staff and restaurant staff, why should their health be jeopardized at work, having to breathe in other people's smoke? So how you frame, how you communicate a message can be really important. The penultimate theory is power politics. Change happens when you go directly to the person in power to seek the policy change that you are seeking. And if I think about the work that I've done in colleagues in Ethiopia, for example, really that's the key approach, going directly to those with power to seek change. And then the final theory is probably the most interesting theory, and I was delighted to see this theory included, is community organizing theory. That change happens when individuals at a community level, the grassroots level, come together with a common purpose to seek a change. And if I think about the work here in the UK done by London citizens, promoting the need for a living wage to tackle poverty pay, and how that was done not at a national level, but working with, say, contract cleaners at a particular bank or a particular shop to get change at that local level. So I just love this approach. Looking at change, embracing a whole array of different theories. And I think as campaigners, we should be instinctively interested in all of these theories. Okay, let's move on now and look at the qualities that you need to be an effective campaigner.